So I just had a real quick question. I mean, how much did you rely on, trying to find out the tendencies of the players coming in so quickly, and your own assessment and then assessments from the outside? Like, where did you, or was that really kind of established with that group already? Like, did you see players that maybe you found something in them that wasn't there during the regular season that surprised maybe the rest of the staff?
I think like I had in a different role, I had watched the team play a couple of times, and I'm from PEI, so I had one over in Charlottetown, had a really good team. Jimmy Holton did a tremendous job with that team over there. And I had watched them play maybe 2 weeks left in the regular season, a game on a Friday night, and St. John was up 6-0. And I remember, you talking to my son on the way home, driving back, and I said, that's the best St. John team I've seen since maybe back like when Danny Flynn and was there, when they had won the league last time. I said, like, they played really well tonight. And I think it was a night when Charlottetown wasn't at the top of their game either. So it wasn't, I think the game ended up maybe 8-4 or something like that. But I said, okay, there's a buy-in in that group, and they're playing connected and things like that. And I think part of that though was they had, their schedule was just in their conference, and there was teams that were rebuilding and, younger players and stuff. And, so the wins accumulated, and, we've been through that at UMB. We've been lucky, to go through that. And sometimes you need a loss to get ahead. Sometimes you can only go so far winning games, and especially when you get extended winning streaks. And we've been lucky to make mistakes and that type of thing. And, I think when Rimouski, had a really good game plan. I think part of the St. John had some players that were sick during that series, and, their goalie played well. And it was just different factors that, led to just one goal, but that's the game, is one goal difference. You can go to a national final and lose by one and no one will ever remember you, and you win by one and you're a legacy, So I think the players, I had known kind of the players from the cheap seats, and the staff kind of maybe had like a closed view. Okay, this player is this, or this player is this. And I tried to be open-minded as much as I could. And I even with the staff, especially the two assistants, I said, like, this is a new kind of beginning, so I use, the JGS is our model here at UMB. And and I've done different conference coaches site and at Roger Nielsen's conference on that type, but JGS is just getting started. So I said, if we're asking the players to be open-minded with a new coach and really kind of a new staff or a new approach, then as coaches, you have to be open-minded. So what this guy did all year, like, let's hope, we can, this is the philosophy now. And so we have to trust the players too, so I tried to build my, image of them from what I saw, not what I had heard, or not maybe what I saw. Some of those players I would have watched for 4 years. Like, it was a group of 5 that came in at 16, 17, 18, 19, and had played 4 years. So I would watch them numerous times throughout, And, a good friend of mine, Darren Burns, who, is a coach at Acadia, and his son Brady is a prominent member of the St. John team. And Darren's watched this team more than anybody, from a coaching perspective. And, I've, listened to Darren through the years, from his, from a dad and from a parent, or from a coach, so I had some information that, I think could help me, how you want to take the strength of what they have, plus what, has worked for myself as a coach and in collaboration with the two assistants. But I give them full credit too. They're open-minded. And, I said, like, I'd like to try this. And, even our neutral zone, it was probably like a few days before the tournament. And we said, like, I think we want to try this, just a little tweak, but it really worked well for us, and they did a great job of presenting that, because we didn't want to present to the players that we're changing everything. Like, this is all, like, there's a lot of good stuff here. Like Josh Lawrence had a 100-point season. Willie DeFore had 116 or whatever. There's a lot of good things here. So we didn't want to just, dynamite it all and say we're starting fresh, that type of thing. But, we knew we had to add some things just to change a little bit. So, from that concept. So that was from a coach, was getting to know them, building trust in them. And then if you get that, then you build confidence. And even though they had a real success, I think when you lose a series and you get, you're home and, the media is all over you, general manager's going to be all over, the owner's going to be all over you, everyone's going to be all over you. The confidence can take a kick, so, my job was to build that confidence back up, but like earn confidence by being the fittest you've ever been and working the hardest you've ever. And again, we had the optimum situation that we could do that. We didn't have 3 games in 3 nights. We didn't have to travel to Charlottetown to play a game. We didn't have to go up to Shawinigan to play a series. We're right in St. John. And the only thing, I think we had 2.5 weeks in, and then the arena was rented out, and there was a country concert. And then, the people come in for the Memorial Cup and do all their logos. And the guy, trying to think, the guy that does the ice from Kelowna, he was outstanding. I can't say how well he did with that ice. Man, he is the ultimate pro. So, but then that meant we had to go out to the Qplex, which was, half an hour drive, 25-minute drive or whatever. And so change things up again. But I think it helped, because if you spend 1 month in the same spot, sometimes that could probably maybe get a little monotonous. So now we kind of had a dress room out there, but just like regular, dress room number 3 at the David Bauer Arena. Like, we didn't have all the nice stuff we had at our dress room and the weight room right there. So we had to do our workouts, back at the St. John Arena. And then we had our practices out at the Qplex for about, I think, 8-10 days. And we took a bus out, which, helpful. Guys talked together and stuff instead of coming to the rink in cars. We all went to the arena in a bus. And again, a chance to build, continue the team build. They had great facilities out there. We could do some things, sessions up there. We did a couple of PWAs up there. And with our Memorial Cup Challenge finished out there and things like that. So it worked out. And at that initially we were saying, son of a gun, we got to go out here. It's going to change up everything. But in retrospect, I think it was really good for us. And a couple of our games were out there as well that we played. So again, it worked. I think it worked an advantage for us that we got away from our rink for about 8 or 10 days. And then when we come back to our rink, I think we had 1 practice, and then that tournament started.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks.
Peter Smith. Gardiner, obviously, super job in your prep, going up to the tournament, going towards the tournament. I mean, real well organized. I'm not surprised in the least, how comprehensive the prep was. I'm interested to know, kind of moving on, and, once you got to the tournament, once you got to the games, kind of what your approach was going into each game, your delivery of the feedback to the players, the adjustment that you made, because, obviously having the team for a month and preparing, but now you're playing games that are meaningful, and, you want to make sure that the players have, figured out what it is that you wanted to do over the course of that month. And then, were they doing it? What kind of feedback were you giving to them? How were you approaching the games, I guess, is the ball.